weight, and as I go down the list here, you can see I'm giving it full power of these vertices, and you can see them turning red, which means that they have full power. But I'm just going to do this the quick way. Hit edit, select all, control left click, and it'll put it at 1 for all. So now all these vertices that I had selected for that bone are now in full control by that bone. So when I go to move this bone now, let me deselect the skin modifier. When I go to move this bone, the mesh is going to move with the bone. Now, in order to get bends and such, we're going to need to select. You saw before when I selected an extra one over this one. Now we're gonna select these two, which this is where the bend is going to be, right in between here. We're gonna hit bone 2 because this bone 1 already has full control over this mesh, so we're gonna have to share it. So we're gonna hit bone 2 and go into our weight table. Actually, you know what, before we do that, let me just weigh out these others. It'll make it a little bit easier for me. Alright, so that area is done. So now I'm going to take these and I'm going to weigh them, and that's a lot of vertices. Anyway, I'm going to weigh them at half control, which is 0.5. Now if you were going to share 3 bones with one piece of mesh, it would be 0.333, 0.333, 0.333, which is as close as you can mathematically get, because each of these have to be even. Well, not necessarily, you can do this, but 0.333 is what you want. Good examples of this are with the examples provided by EA with the mod development toolkit. You can kind of just look over and see how they did it, but this is a very lengthy process with the weight table, and when you're working with bigger, more complex meshes, it really can become a headache, and hours can turn into days. So, and another way I could have done this shorter is I could have just gone, let me do this, select all. I could have just gone over here, hit 0.5, and it would have just put half and half all the way through here. That shortens it up, but sometimes you can't take that shortcut and can't do that, but in this case I was able to. So now you can see that this piece of mesh is yellow, and this is because now if I click on bone 1, it's still going to be yellow. It's sharing in between these two. So if I deselect the skin modifier, I click on this, and I bend it up, you can see it has a bend now. The bones bend the mesh. It's a sloppy one because, I mean, you know, not taking my sweet time and doing a good job on this, but just trying to give you the idea. So now I'm going to select bone 2. I'm going to see what bones I have what vertices I have selected here. I'm going to select all of these. Actually, no. I'm just going to select these 2, select bone 3. I'm going to give them all full 100 control weight of this part. Select weigh them, and then I'm going to select. All you have to do is go back the bone before to see what you had previously selected. This is where I'm going to want the bend to be. Select it on bone 3. Weight table. Select all. 0.5. Alright, so the middle bone here is kind of going to be completely in yellow. It's going to be the center point of the bend. So as you can see, the center bone bends on both pieces of its controlling mesh. So now if I take this bone here,